Hello students, today I am taking a new topic, managing human resource. It is a subject in second SEM MBA under BCU University. I am doing this video in a different way. I will be putting the questions that is likely to come and the answers for each question I will be discussing with you in my slides. I am Tanuja Nair, Assistant Professor from Big Gibbs B School. So let's start. So first question. These are short answer type of questions. Explain human resource management with its objectives. So first we have to explain what is human resource management. So you know that man is the most valuable asset for a company and it appreciates over time, whereas all the other resources they depreciate over time. Like for example, the 5 M's. A company needs 5 M's: men, money, material, and methods. Of all these, men is the most important. That is the human resource. So without human resource, the company cannot run. All the other aims are useless. And man is a resource which can appreciate or which can become more and more valuable with the passage of time, whereas the other things like material, money, methods, all will depreciate over time. So HRM is the most effective use of people to achieve organizational and individual goals. So through human resource management, organizations try to achieve both the individual goals of employees as well as their organizational goals. So that is the explanation for human resource management. So, what are the objectives of HRM? First objective is human resources managed to achieve the goals of the organization, and it also helps employees to achieve their personal goals. So, employees take up work for various reasons, either to earn money or to get a challenging job or to achieve some position in society or to achieve respect from society. So the one of the ways in which employees can achieve their personal goals is through HRM, effective human resource management. So if you have effective human resource management through training and development, you can develop your employees so that they become more efficient and productive. The third objective is to utilize maximum potential of employees. If you manage your human resource well, you can maximum utilize their potential. Fourth one, you can attract efficient employees, talented employees towards your organization by maintaining an effective HRM system. So if your HRM is effective, you can attract talented employees towards your organization and you can also retain them in your organization. Next objective is HRM comes forth with various HR welfare programs which increase job satisfaction amongst employees. Welfare programs like providing good working atmosphere, satisfactory salaries, benefits, providing them other welfare like facilities to the human resource. So, rewarding them timely rewards, training and developing them. So, all these are various welfare programs which will increase job satisfaction among the employees. Also, HRM objective is to improve the quality of work life. So the companies always try to improve the work life of employees so that they are more satisfied and they are retained within the organization. So they try to provide the best of infrastructure, the best of facilities, and best of all the programs or welfare facilities that the employees require so that their quality of work life greatly improves. Also, HRM's objective is to provide the latest HR policies to the employees and update them about the latest HR policies. It also fulfills the social responsibility of organizations. Organizations have a social responsibility, that is, they provide employment, they provide them dignity of life to the employees by providing them jobs and by providing them various welfare measures like health insurance, life insurance, and like provide education for their children. So all these are part of fulfilling the social responsibility of the organization. The organization provides jobs to the people. So that is their social responsibility. It also maintains discipline among the employees through an effective HRM, and also it maintains harmony in the work culture so that the work goes smoothly, the operations happen smoothly so that the company is able to thrive. So these are all the objectives of HRM. So this is the first question which I have dealt with. Now we will go to the next question. What functions does HRM play? So HRM has many functions. So one of the most important function of HRM is to develop the human resource, that is build the human capital. So the existing employees within the organization, they should be motivated, they should be given timely rewards, they should be paid well, they should be provided a good working atmosphere, they should be provided all the facilities. So this will help to develop the human resource within the organizations, which will in turn increase the profits of the organization, because when you develop your human resource, they become more productive. So HRM carries out many people related functions like recruitment, T&D, that is training and development. It does regular performance review. Based on that, they give the timely rewards, promotions, increment, bonus, etc. They give satisfactory compensation, which is remuneration or salary or wages. They provide safety, they provide health insurance, they provide welfare facilities like drinking water, canteen facilities, transport facilities, all these things. Industrial relations, make sure that the industries maintain good relations with each other. So these are all the functions of HRM. So HRM carries out many functions. So the functions of HRM are mainly divided into two: managerial functions and operational functions. Managerial functions is all about managing the human resource. So, planning for the organizational activities as per the goals of the organization, then organizing all the activities within the organization so that the work goes on smoothly, directing the employees, guiding them so that they are able to do the work properly, and controlling and monitoring all the work of the employees to make sure that everything is going according to plan. Operational functions are to deal with the operations. So employment of talented people into the organizations, then developing the human resource, that is HRD, through training, through various other ways. They develop the employees, increase their skills, knowledge, and abilities, provide them good compensation or salaries or remuneration, having good relations, human relations with between the employees and the employer, and also maintaining good industrial relations, that is having smooth relations with all the industries so that the work goes on very smoothly. So this question dealt with all the functions of HRM. Now we go to the third question: how Warwick model of HRM affects the HR practices. So there are various models of HRM. One of them is the Warwick model. These models help in HR planning. So here this question is about the Warwick model. So, how the Warwick model of HRM affects the HR practices? That is the question. So, the Warwick model shows various factors and how they influence the HRM practices. So, it shows the external environment, how which is denoted as outer context, and the internal environment within the company, which is denoted as inner context. So, how both these environments affect the HRM practices of companies. Also, the Warwick model shows how the business strategy, how the HR system has been developed within the organization, what role it plays within the organization, what is the output of HRM, all positively influence the HRM practices. So, the Warwick model shows all these factors, how they are linked together, and how they bring about change in the HRM practices, and how HRM practices are adapted according to the changes that happen in these factors. So, like for example, technology, it is an external environment factor. So, when technology development happens rapidly, it affects our HRM practices. So, our HRM practices are forced to adopt these technological upgradations so that they can change and adapt to the changes that have happened in the macro environment. So we see the diagram. This is the Warwick model diagram. So you see the outer context, the socio-economical environment, technical environment, political environment, competitive environment. This is all the external environment which affects our inner environment within organizations. That is what kind of organizational culture we develop, what kind of organizational structure we develop, what is the leadership style followed within companies, what is the task that is carried out, what kind of technology is adopted, what is the output of business, is all affected by the macro environment, that is the outer context. So the internal environment, what are the changes that happen in internal environment? It affects the business strategy of the company, and it affects the HRM system within the company. So, this in turn affects the HR practices which are followed within the company, how the HR system flows within the company, what kind of work systems they have, what kind of reward systems they have, what kind of employee relations they have. All these are affected by all the factors which I mentioned just now. So, this is how the Warwick model affects the HRM practices in companies. So, we have answered the question on Warwick model. Now we go to the next question. Define HR metrics and explain the type of metrics. First, we will define what is HR metrics. So, HR metrics is a complex system of measurement which is used to measure HR activities. So, with the help of HR metrics, we find out how the departments are working in the organization. Do they need any improvement? So, with the help of HR metrics, we will come to know what is going right in the company and what is going wrong in the company so that we can correct it. So, this helps to boost profits, control costs, cut losses of the company. So, HR metrics is applied to see how payroll, compensation, benefits, retention strategy which is applied in the company, T&D, all are performing. So all the HR activities that is going on within the company is measured with the help of HR metrics. So we come to know how well they are functioning within the organization. So HR metrics is commonly applied to find out employee productivity, to monitor employee attendance, to see how engaged employees are, that means how involved they are in their work, to measure turnover of employees. Turnover means number of employees leaving the organization. It is known as employee turnover or it is known as attrition rate. So, how the recruitment is happening within the company, how the reward system is functioning, how the retention strategy is being applied, all this can be measured with the help of HR metrics. So, HR metrics helps the companies today to take quick data based decisions because of so much competition, because of so much globalization and mergers, companies have to take quick decisions. So, to take quick decisions, they need up to date information at hand. So, this is what HR metrics helps them with. It provides them the relevant data so that the managers can take quick metric based decisions. So, this is what is all about HR metrics. Now, we will see what are the different types of metrics. Different types of metrics which is usually found in companies are headcount, that means the number of employees working in your organization. You count the number of temporary employees, permanent employees, who are the contractual employees, or the gig workers. Gig workers are your part time workers who work only for a particular project and then they leave once the project is completed. Or gig workers are also known as those people who handle two jobs at the same time. So its head count is you find how many number of employees you have in your organization. So you find out whether you are overstaffed. So is your cost going very high? Is your labor cost going very high? So control your cost and remove the excess staff. So the HR metrics helps to keep a tab on your headcount. The next metric is turnover rates. That is the number of people leaving the organization. So it's a common practice in all the companies. People will be leaving the organization. So for various reasons. So voluntarily they will be leaving the organization most of the time. So company has to keep a track. So they have to see that the turnover rate should not go too high. If it goes too high, that means there is some serious problem with the company. So they should always keep a control on the employee turnover rate or attrition rate, because again the company has to spend on recruitment, which will increase the cost of the company. The third metric is diversity. HR metrics helps to track how diverse your workforce is. Diverse means the multicultural workforce. Nowadays, most of the companies have a multicultural workforce or a diverse workforce. That means people from different regions are working in organizations. So the HR metrics helps you to track how diverse your workforce is. It helps to attract talented people into the organization. The more diversity you have, the better will be your ability to attract talented people into the organization, and you can boost your profits also. Next metric is total cost of the workforce. So HR metric helps to find out how much it requires to maintain the workforce. What is the cost? So this includes the salary, the headcount, the workforce overheads, whatever you spend to maintain your workforce, all whatever benefits you provide to them. So all that it gives a total cost of your workforce. So this HR metrics will help you keep a tab on how many people are being recruited, what is the amount you are paying them, how much you are spending for onboarding employees, training employees, how many employees are getting retired. So, all this is cost for the company. So, the total cost of maintaining the workforce can be tracked with the help of HR metrics. Next is compensation, that is salary. So, this metric helps you to keep track whether your compensation levels are as per the market scale. So, one of the reasons why people leave the organization is less salary. So, this metric will tell you whether you are paying as per the market rate or whether you are paying less than the market rate. So it helps you to keep a track on the salary, bonus, how much paid time off, health insurance, retirement benefits, etc. you are providing to the people. So this metric will help you to retain your employees. Will make sure that you are compensating them well so that you are retaining your employees and your turnover rates are within control. The next metric is turnover cost. So companies are always trying to reduce their cost. their overall cost, because it's a very labor cost is the biggest expenditure that a company faces. So it calculates, this metric calculates the total cost of separation plus vacancy plus replacement plus training. That means when an employee separates from the company, he leaves the company, a vacancy happens in the company, then recruitment has to happen and somebody has to be replaced, and then training has to be provided to that person. So all this, what is the total cost of all this? This is the turnover cost. So this metric helps to keep a track of what are the turnover costs the company has to bear. Then the next one is employee engagement. This is to find out how involved the employees are, how engaged they are within the organization. The more engaged the employees are, the more they will be motivated to work and the more productive they will be. So this metric finds out how many employees are voluntarily leaving the organization, that is voluntary turnover, what is the absenteeism rate in the organization, how is the performance of the employees. All this will help the company to find out how engaged their employees are. So these are all the HR metrics, different types of HR metrics. Now we go to the next question. Explain the concept of human resource outsourcing with its different stages. So first we will see what is outsourcing. So companies usually, this is a very common practice, companies usually they outsource their non-core activities. That means which activities which are not important for the company, which the company can give it to a third party. So they outsource these activities like their administrative work, or maybe their recruitment work, or maybe their installation services, or maybe their after sales service. So all this is outsourced, given to a third party service provider. This is known as human resource outsourcing. So like this is a very common thing followed by most of the companies. The main reason they do this is to reduce cost, to reduce their administrative work, and to reduce their business risk. So the company can focus on their more important activities, their core activities. They can improve the quality, they can increase their profits, they can focus on their core business, and they can keep their costs within control. So, like for example, Asian countries like Asia and China are most of the Western countries, Western companies, they outsource their back office work to these countries. So, like India is known as the back office of the world because we have so many BPOs which is doing the back office work of so many Western companies. So, labor is cheap here. So, the companies outsource all their administrative work, their data entry work, all their back office work to Indian companies at a very less cost. So it's a very common practice which is followed by most of the companies. So this outsourcing is giving out your non-core activities to a third party service provider. They will do the task for you, or they will provide the service for you, or they will provide handle the operations for you. Like for example, Amazon, the e-commerce company, they have given their delivery services to a third party. it has been outsourced to a third party. So once you order from Amazon, you see that the delivery is done to you by some other company. So this is all about human resource outsourcing. Now we will see the different stages of outsourcing. So first the company plans for outsourcing. So they analyze what is the risk of outsourcing if they want to outsource any activity, and they will hire some advisors from outside, and they will form a team. The team will be trained by the company. They will get the required resources and information that is required, and then they will set the goals and what will be the outcome of that outsourcing activity is all analyzed. Then, in the second stage, the contract is decided. So the terms and conditions, what will be the rights of the third party, what is the duration of the contract, when it will be terminated, all these things are considered and mentioned in the contract, which is drawn up between the two parties. Then the third one is analysis. Here the company focuses on how the third party company's performance is going to be. They will have an estimate and what is going to be the cost. So they will have estimation of both of these, the performance and the cost, and on the basis they will assess what will be the risk factor, how much will be the total cost, and what is the target the service company has to achieve, the third party company has to achieve. The fourth stage is selection. Now the company selects the service provider. They will have criteria, some criteria. Based on this, they will evaluate the service providers. They will screen them. They will come up with a list of service providers. Then they draft a proposal, request for proposal, which is given to the service providers. So, based on what is their qualification, whether they satisfy the criteria, what is the cost, all these, based on all this, the proposals are assessed. And then the service providers are shortlisted, and then the best service provider is selected from that list. So the next one is negotiation. Then the company negotiates with the selected service provider. So various issues, how the performance will be carried out by the company, what is the terms and conditions, all the cost, the sharing of resources, all this is discussed. The various issues, how they will achieve the targets, everything will be discussed with them. And then the transition of resources happens. That is the team which has been selected within the company to carry out this outsourcing. They are trained by the company, they are taken to the client location, and lastly this relationship has to be managed by the company so that the service provider continues to service them for a long period of time. So, who will supervise them? Who will monitor them? How agenda, the operations are all scheduled, and their uh, performance will be monitored. If they are below par performance, then they will be corrected. So, their relationship with the service provider will be managed. So, these are all the different stages of developing and outsourcing a contract with a service third party service contract provider. Then we go to the next question. What do you mean by HR audit? Explain the different types of HR audit. So, what is audit? Audit is a technique which is used by companies to check its different activities and the outcomes of the company. So, usually, audit is used to assess the financial records of a company, it is verified to see whether everything is in order. So HR audit is mainly to evaluate the HR activities in an organization. So that is what is HR audit. So what are the different types of HR audit? So the different types are, we have time audit, that is usually auditing should take place at a fixed time, but most of the companies don't follow a fixed time. They may do auditing as and when required, maybe once a year or once in 3 years. So it should be done on a regular basis. The time period should be fixed. Conduct of audit is the second type. It can be external or it can be internal. Internal audit means it is an audit which takes place within the company by the employees within the company. So they only assess how the HR department is working. Usually they'll come out with a biased report. External audit is done outside the company or within the company, but it is done by external professionals who have been specifically hired for this purpose, and they usually come out with a very unbiased report. Then purpose, that is the third type of HR audit. This is for what purpose the audit is being done. So based on that, you have compliance audit. It checks whether all the departments are following the rules and regulations of the company. Best practices organization audit. Here the audit is carried out by to check whether the best practices of the HR department is the same as that of the model organizations. If they are lacking, if the HR department is lacking and not up to the model organization, then the HR department tries to improve and adopt the best practices of the model organization. Then you have strategic audit. Here the HR practices are evaluated to see whether they are achieving the strategic goals of the organization, to make sure that the performance of the employees are improving, and to make sure that proper working conditions are being provided to the employees. Then job specific audit. This audit is done to find out whether the functions which is being performed by the HR department is being performed well, like recruitment, training, salary, promotions, increment, reward system, performance appraisal is all being done as per the HR plan or HR policies. So these are the different types of auditing. So by auditing, what are the benefits? The company can make sure it is following the legal laws. It can make sure that all its operations, its books are up to date, and it also can show itself as a company of integrity, that it is an honest company and it is preventing fraud by auditing all its operations, and it is able to reduce its business risk also. So these are all the different types of HR audit. Now, what qualities should an HR manager possess? He should have both managerial qualities and job related qualities. Managerial qualities is that he should be intelligent enough to understand the situations that is happening around him. He should be able to understand the problems that is happening in the HR department, how to tackle it, how to overcome it. Conceptual qualities he should have. He should be able to understand the problem and come up with innovative solutions. Analytical qualities is he should be able to analyze the different situations, the different problems that he faces, and he should be able to carry out the work smoothly Motivational quality is a very important quality an HR manager should have. He should be able to motivate the people so that the employees will work to their full potential and which will increase the profits of the company. And he should be emotionally very stable person. He should be emotionally very balanced person so that he can treat the people around him in a fair manner. He should not take out his anger or treat people, employees below him, his subordinates in a very bad manner. So, emotionally, he has to be a very balanced people and carry the people all around him so that they are all able to work smoothly. Job related qualities: he should show empathy, he should be considerate to other employees' needs, especially when he's dealing with a diverse workforce. People from different regions, different cultures are coming to work in the organization. So he should be empathetic towards them. He should be considerate towards them. He should be very good in communication, very good in persuading employees, to motivating them, to making them work to achieve the project, to achieve the targets. So he should be very good in persuading them. Human relations quality should also be there. He should treat his employees like humans, not like machines. So he should have very good relations with his employees, and technically also he should be sound. He should have the technical skills also. So these are all the job related qualities which an HR manager should have along with the managerial qualities. Then he will be a successful HR manager. So explain the scope of HRM. So HRM has a very wide scope. It covers so many areas right from the time the employee joins an organization till he leaves an organization. So the scope of HR is very wide. So the HR manager plays multiple roles. He will be playing sometimes a role of bargainer. Sometimes he will be a conscience keeper. He has to keep secrets which employees are sharing with him. He has to be a peacemaker. Sometimes a conflict will arise amongst employees. He has to bring peace between them. He has to counsel them when they are demotivated, they are not ready to work. He should be speaking on behalf of the company, so a company spokesman. He should be a problem solver, and above all, he should be a change manager. He should bring about a change in his employees. He should help the employees to develop in a positive way, increase their skills, knowledge, and abilities. That is KSAs. So he should bring about positive change in his employees. So HRM also helps in procuring, that it helps to recruit the talented employees into the organization. It helps in the induction and placement of the employees. It also helps to develop training and development programs to develop the employees. So this is all the scope of HRM. So till here I have covered a few questions under this subject. I will be coming out with more questions in my next video very soon. Thank you.